Hi, and welcome to the Self-Renewal for Women in Healthcare Summit. I am your host, Dr. JoAnn Merriweather Spearmon. I'm delighted to feature Vanessa Nixon to our summit today. She is a passionate advocate for natural support and wellness for midlife women. Vanessa's work empowers women, especially those balancing demanding healthcare careers, to reclaim their energy, their health, and confidence as they step boldly into the next chapter of their lives. In this interview, Vanessa will share practical insights and holistic strategies to help women overcome the unique challenges of midlife transitions. Her guidance invites us to embrace vitality, prioritize self care, and recognize the powerful impact that we are meant to make. So get ready to be inspired by Vanessa's heartfelt message entitled Natural Methods to Reduce Stress and Feel Vibrant, Radiant, and Grounded. Vanessa, welcome to the Self-Renewal for Women in Healthcare Summit.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here.
I am happy that you are here, and I, for one, am excited to hear your message about renewal and empowerment to enhance my life. Plus, I have a lot of questions. So, you ready to get started?
I am ready.
All right. Vanessa, what inspired you to focus on natural support for midlife women seeking to boost their energy and confidence?
That's a great question. And I think it comes from my own health journey.
Okay.
Um, Early in life, in my early 20s, I had been chronically ill for many years. And it was seeking natural support
Okay.
through herbal medicine that was the key for me to heal myself of this chronic illness I've been suffering with for 7 years at least at that point. And that was kind of what catapulted me into this desire
Okay.
to learn, study, and begin practicing in the field of holistic health. And then after several decades of that, when I began to enter my own
Mm-hmm.
period of transition into perimenopause,
Okay.
um, even though I had so much education and experience around natural health and holistic tools and techniques, it hit me so quick and so fast that I didn't even know it was happening.
Oh, okay.
And it took me a while to step back and look at what I was experiencing and realize, oh, I know what's going on. I
Okay.
have the tools. And what I really need now is the support. And so
Okay.
I was able to kind of lean back into my community that I had developed of friends and family and other healthcare
Mhm.
practitioners to help support me
Okay.
and guide me as I was also using my own tools. So those were the two thing turning points for me.
Okay.
Realizing that I already had the knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and realizing that I needed to reach out to my support system. And that made all the difference for me. And so then when I looked around to all of the women around me in my community and my clients, I realized that that was something that was very common to many of us was
Okay.
that we as women think we need to do it all ourselves. We are the nurturers, we are the carers, we're always taking care of everybody else. And it's really hard for many of us to ask for help or to claim our own time and space for ourselves. And I think that that is what this period of life is calling for women, this menopause it's calling for us to take a pause,
Mm-hmm.
to pause and really reflect on our accomplishments, on all of our experiences, all the wisdom we've gained, and what we want to do now going forward, and really allow ourselves to tap into our own intuition and into that femininity that we've always externalized and taking care of everybody else. We've always been using that nurturing, compassionate feminine energy for everybody else's care and health and upliftment. And now we need to turn that back on ourselves, and we need to reach out and
Absolutely.
allow others to do that for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yes.
Yeah, I can see that. And that kind of segues into my next question, which you just answered, was how, you help women balance the physical and emotional demands of the transition that they're going through, along with their busy healthcare schedules.
Right, right. And this time of life is so busy
Mm.
for all women, really.
Right.
But especially women who are in healthcare and are in the caring professions, where that output of energy is doubled or tripled. Uh, it's so important for women in this industry to understand
Mm-hmm.
that in order to continue to care for others in the way that we want to, we not only have to fill our cup, but it has to be overflowing.
Oh,
It's the
absolutely.
overflow
Mm-hmm.
that needs to be what cares for others,
Mm-hmm.
which means we need to constantly be doing the practices and creating the rituals in our daily lives that are constantly filling us up and creating that overflow.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, part of that is accepting support from others,
Mm-hmm.
whether that is a partner, whether it's family member, whether it's friends, whether it's community, whether it's other healthcare practitioners,
Okay.
but really understanding how vital that is
Mm-hmm.
for not only our own health, but for the way we want to show up in the world and the way we want to be able to give our gifts and our talents and our magic to the world. We really need to be full and
Mm-hmm.
standing in our own power
Mm-hmm.
and feeling very confident and healthy and vital in order to make the change that we want to make in the world.
Okay. And I can see that. And actually, that is the primary reason why I elected to do this summit,
Mm-hmm.
because I recognize and see the benefit of filling your cup full first. And
Absolutely.
then you're able to more effectively serve others from your overflow. You're more productive, you're more creative, you're not lashing out or just losing your patience with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get it. I get it, and thank you for that. Do you find that it's hard for the women that you see in your practice to step back and like see what their challenges are to
Yeah,
filling their cup full?
I do. I do. And I think it does go back to um, that conditioning that we've grown up with in our culture that, we've got to do it all. We've got to take
Yeah.
care of ourselves and our family. And so we're just go, go, go. That's what our culture demands of us is this hustle, this go, this taking care of it all. And so just taking time to take that pause and look back and
Mm.
say, okay, I need to be resourced. I need to be supported here.
Right.
And then being able to do some of that self reflection
Mm-hmm.
and looking back on the ways that we have built in our healthcare practices in our own lives, our personal healthcare practices throughout our lives.
Mm-hmm.
For many of us, if not most of us, during this huge transition,
Mm-hmm.
um, those things have to change because we've changed. Our bodies changed. We're different. We're different people. We're becoming different people. We're evolving.
Right.
And so we need different tools. We need different techniques. We need different kinds of support. And it feels like that's just one more challenge for many women. It feels like, oh, I don't have enough time in the day
Mm-hmm.
to make all of these changes that I know I need to make. Most of us already know, we have intuition. We have inner wisdom. We've lived how many decades already? We have experience. We know what we need, or we know how to get what we need. If we don't actually know the things that we need, we know how to get it, but it feels like an added stress. It feels like more overwhelm. And so that I think is the major challenge that I come up against when women are coming to me is they already feel overwhelmed, and
Okay.
it feels like, oh, just adding one more thing is like going to take me to the breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of have to unravel all of that first, which is a lot of mindset. It's a lot of deconditioning
Mm-hmm.
that has to happen to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that this is the most important thing for you right now because all you have is yourself. This is the body that we were given. We've got to take care of it. This is the life that we're living right now, and if we don't listen to those messages that our body is sending us when they're quiet,
Right.
when they're small, they'll get louder and louder and louder and more urgent, and the health consequences will be more dire if we keep pushing it and pushing it off. So I really feel like this is the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time to do it. This is the time for us to do that work.
Mm-hmm.
If, and I don't even like to call it work because then it sounds more challenging, but to take that time for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and look at how we're eating, how we're nourishing ourselves, what we're consuming, whether that is food or beverage or supplements or medication or news or the relationships and the energy that's coming into us. Look at what we're consuming,
Right.
and how is that either helping us or hurting us.
Okay.
And so food is usually one of the first places I start,
Mm-hmm.
um, in the physical realm,
Okay.
after we kind of go through some of this mindset resetting and
Okay.
conditioning. If our gut is not in order, if we're not able to assimilate our food, even the best diet is not going to be helpful for us because we can't actually assimilate the nutrients. So, looking at the food, looking at the gut, looking at digestion,
Mm-hmm.
and how we can make some simple shifts that can help us to rebalance our gut flora,
Mm-hmm.
heal the gut lining, and make sure that the foods we're choosing are really nutrient dense and we're getting all the nutrition we need, and then we're able to assimilate all of that those nutrients, all the vitamins and minerals in those
Mm-hmm.
foods. That's one of the first places that I start after
Okay.
we start working on the mindset and the mindfulness.
Okay. Can you give some examples of foods that you would consider to be gut nutrient?
Sure. Yeah. One of the first things that I usually focus on for women who are wanting to become more grounded and balanced and have more energy are foods that provide probiotics, the good
Okay.
bacteria. So fermented foods. Um, and there's so many fermented foods out there, whether that's yogurt or miso or tempeh or sauerkrauts, which can be
Mm-hmm.
made with any vegetable. It doesn't have to be
Mm-hmm.
just cabbage.
Okay.
Kimchi, um, even things like sourdough bread are fermented foods and can
Okay.
provide some of those probiotics, which, and we know that there is a subset of your microbiome that's now been termed the estrobolome,
Okay.
because those particular subsets of bacteria in your gut help to break down estrogen. And so if we
Okay.
don't have enough of those, then we have a lot of free floating estrogen, and then our liver has to metabolize it, and then our liver gets overloaded. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, it's a good place to start when we're talking about food is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how's your gut flora? And we can
Okay.
always make small improvements there. And then once those bacteria colonies are in balance,
Mm-hmm.
then that
Beautiful.
is going to set off a chain reaction of
Mm-hmm.
healing throughout the entire system. That's going to affect the immune system, the nervous system. It's going to affect your mood. It's going to affect your hormone balance.
Okay.
So that's a good example. And then from there, I often look to adaptogens. And I
Okay.
know that's something that we talked about earlier
Mm-hmm.
was, you know, what are adaptogens and how do they help? And I love talking about herbal adaptogens because
Okay.
they help your body adapt to stress.
Okay.
And a lot of what we're talking about with women in midlife and women in healthcare is stress, their stress load, and how high it is, and how stress is going to impact your health in so many different ways, on so many different levels. And so, adaptogens, herbal adaptogens, work through the HPA axis
Okay.
in the endocrine system, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and they help that particular pathway to function more efficiently and better. And these adaptogens nourish those endocrine glands and those pathways so that your body is more resilient and it can adapt to the stress that is in your life, because we know we can't just get rid of all of the stressful situations. We need tools to be able to address them more effectively and efficiently. So adaptogens are one of those tools.
Okay. All right. That I like that discussion, and I'm thinking, I'm processing as you're talking the things that I need to eat more of. I eat yogurt, but I will set the intention to increase the amount of yogurt that I do currently eat. And
Mhm.
sauerkraut, yeah, I started buying that as well. I must have known intuitively.
Right. And in a lot of traditional cultures, they
Hmm.
have different types of fermented foods that they
Right.
eat in just small amounts at every meal,
Hmm.
because they understood that in order to be able to digest their meals more
Hmm.
effectively, they needed that little bit of probiotics.
Okay.
And so it doesn't take a lot, but it needs to be consistent to be most effective. So I always recommend just a few bites at each meal
At each
to
meal.
begin with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And that rolled right into my next question, but you've already answered it. So, how do you support women in recognizing and embracing their unique impact and purpose during a phase of transition in their life?
That is a really big question. And I think that for me, those key pieces of
Hmm.
the resetting the mindset,
Okay. Hmm.
working with mindfulness to
Hmm.
reduce stress, adding in those tools like adaptogens, like
Hmm.
um, adding in some really nutrient dense foods like the fermented foods, as well as many others,
Okay.
foods with lots of antioxidants and, your brightly colored berries and your leafy green vegetables, all the things that we hear that we know we need to be eating, but, really being able to adapt these things and including mindful movement. We haven't talked about that yet, but including all of these tools in some kind of a ritual or lifestyle routine that is fitting for that unique woman, because there's no one right diet for everybody, there's no one right herbal formula for everybody, there's no one right form of movement or fitness routine that's right for every single woman, because we're all unique. We all have different situations. Our bodies are all different.
Right.
And so one of the things that I do is to help women connect the dots of what's actually going on with them. You know,
Okay.
how do these things all connect? And then how can we co-create a plan, a protocol, a ritual, something that feels really good, that fits into how you want your life to look and doesn't just add more things to your to-do list.
And something that you will continue to do, be
Exactly,
consistent.
because yeah, if it's something that's just adding to your to-do list and creates more stress for you,
Right.
you're not going to do it anyway. So it doesn't make sense. But if we can like tease out, you know, what are the things that bring you joy? How can we bring in mindfulness that's going to elevate that and
Okay.
continue to bring you more joy, which is going to reduce your stress automatically. The more joy you feel, the more that's going to reduce your stress. How can we bring in, you know, maybe some of these herbal adaptogens that will help your body become more resilient physically?
Okay.
How can we continue to, you know, shift that mindset so that when you look at your daily life and your daily schedule, you can see, oh, these are the things that I really love doing. These are the things that bring me joy, that make me feel vital. These are
Okay.
the things that do not. How can I make some tweaks so that those things feel better? Or
Okay.
how can I bring in these particular tools in a way that feels spacious and not like it's taking all my time? You know, when we talk about mindfulness or meditation, a lot of women are really resistant because they're like, I don't have time to meditate for an hour a day or half an hour a day.
Right.
And the key is that we don't need
That much
to
time.
try to carve out a whole hour to do these things that we're talking about. All of these things are things that could just take a couple of minutes here and there in the time that you already have. You know, just in the time that you get up between seeing clients or patients to go to the bathroom, you can
Yeah.
be doing mindfulness techniques. You can be doing breath work. You can be doing somatic exercises that help embody and ground you just
Okay.
in those few minutes that you go to the bathroom. An example would be when you're washing your hands at the sink. Bring all your focus to how that warm water feels on your hands,
Okay.
how the soap feels. And that brings you into your body because you're actually focusing on the
On that.
feeling. And when you do that, it grounds you, it lowers your heart rate, it reduces your stress, and it only takes a few minutes. So when we bring these things together, these few
Okay.
minutes here, a few minutes of movement, you know, a dance break between clients or whatever, these things all then start to work together to create a whole new lifestyle that makes you feel more energized and more vital and more grounded.
Okay. I like that, especially the dance moves.
Yes. Yes. Well, as a belly dance instructor, that's my
Ooh,
favorite form of stress reduction. It's my favorite form of exercise and movement. It brings me so much joy. I do it many times a week. I teach
wow.
classes, and then even when I'm not teaching classes, I do my dance breaks. When I have two
Okay.
minutes to get up from my desk, I turn the music on. I listen to Michael Jackson or Marvin Gaye, and I just let loose.
Okay.
And it shifts everything for me.
Okay. Wow. All right. So, what is one empowering message that you want every woman who is in midlife they're working in healthcare to remember as they navigate their journey?
I would say that my wish is that we all can tap into our own inner wisdom
Mm-hmm.
and stay connected with that intuition, that inner voice that already knows the answers, that already knows what we need,
Mm-hmm.
and put that above all of the things that we think we should be doing, that
Okay.
society tells us we should be doing, and know that we do have the answers. We have the ancestral knowledge, we have the intuition, we have the lived experience. We
Mm-hmm.
know ourselves and our bodies better than anybody else
Everybody
can.
else.
And when we slow down
Mm-hmm.
and ground ourselves and listen,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that is where true health comes from.
You know, that's a powerful message. You know, it's one of the, well, I see it as one of those things you know you need to do, but you don't do it because you feel like you got so many other things going on, and that you and you alone can address them, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, all right. Now, this has truly been a lively and eye-opening discussion for me personally. So I am certain that others have gotten a lot of takeaways from this discussion. Now, I understand that you also have a gift you want to give to our participants. Would you like to share what that is?
Yes. So I do have a free gift, and it is kind of going back to what we talked about with the my favorite form of movement is stress reduction being belly dancing.
Yes.
I have a free gift called 10 Ways Belly Dancing Brings More Joy and Health into Your Life.
Oh, wonderful.
Because belly dancing not only is a great physical form of movement and exercise, but
Hmm.
it can improve your health emotionally, mentally, energetically, spiritually, as well as physically. And there are a lot there now are studies that are supporting this,
Really? I didn't
and
know that.
all of the different ways that it can help you. And so that gift is just a quick, easy way to show the highlights of all the different ways belly dancing can elevate your life.
Oh, that's awesome. And thank you for that.
You're
Because
welcome.
I'm definitely going to check it out. Okay, Vanessa, I want to thank you so much for the pearls of wisdom that you dropped on us today.
You're so welcome, and thank you for having me. This
Oh,
was a wonderful
absolutely.
discussion.
Your self-care practices to stay motivated in spite of all of the demanding schedules that many of us have. This has been enlightening, and I truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right.